During World War II, Germany employed a formidable array of heavily armoured cars to support its military operations. These vehicles were designed to provide reconnaissance, transport troops, and engage enemy targets. Some of these vehicles became a real handful for Allied soldiers, with weapons usually found mounted on a tank being fixed to a fast-moving car. In this video, we take a closer look at some of the key heavy armoured cars used by Germany during World War II, their production, specifications, and their performance on the battlefield. If you enjoy this video and want to see more, hit the subscribe button. It's free and really helps the channel reach more history lovers like you. The heavy armoured cars used by Germany in World War II were part of the SDKFZ series. This translates to Special Purpose Motorised Vehicle. These vehicles were produced by various manufacturers and were known for their versatility and firepower. One of the most iconic heavy armoured cars used by Germany was the SDKFZ 231. It was widely employed for reconnaissance and had a unique 8-wheel drive configuration, providing excellent mobility on various terrain. The 231 was equipped with a 20mm autocannon and an MG34 machine gun. It had a crew of 4, including a commander, driver, radio operator, and gunner. The 231 had a top speed of 80 km an hour or 52 miles, and a range of approximately 300 km or 186 miles. It had a maximum armour thickness of 30 mm on the front and 15 on the sides, which provided limited protection against small arms fire and shrapnel. Next up was the 232. This was virtually the same as the 231 with the same 8-wheel configuration, which allowed for huge speeds on the battlefield. It had the same weaponry and armour thickness, but its primary role was that of a radio car. This gave commanders of infantry and mobile infantry a great advantage, having a fast-moving armoured car equipped with a powerful radio system. Manoeuvres in the battlefield were quickly relayed as this vehicle could sight the enemy from distance and quickly move from harm's way. The SDKFZ 233 was next up and was specifically designed for anti-tank warfare. Its main armament was a 75mm gun with the capability of penetrating the armour of most Allied tanks at the time. The 233 had a crew of 5, including a commander, driver, radio operator, gunner, and loader. With its slightly lower speed of 70 km or 43 miles an hour, it still had a range of 300 km or 186 miles. Its front armour was the same at 30mm thick. The SDKFZ 234-1 was designed for reconnaissance and was armed with a 20mm autocannon and an MG34 machine gun. The Stroke 1 had a crew of 4 and featured a sloped armour design that provided improved protection against enemy fire. It had a top speed of 90 km or 55 miles an hour, and the range increased now to 900 km or 560 miles, making it one of the fastest and most mobile heavy armoured cars used by Germany during World War II. The Stroke 2 version was also known as the Puma. It was designed for reconnaissance and anti-tank warfare. It had a 50mm gun, which was capable of penetrating the armour of the majority of Allied tanks and vehicles. The Puma had a crew of 5, including a commander, driver, radio operator, gunner, and loader. It still featured the 8-wheel configuration and had a top speed of 80 km or 50 miles an hour. The range now was at 800 km or 500 miles. Its armour was much the same as the Stroke 1. The Stroke 3 version was known as the Stummel and was designed for infantry support. Its feature was a 75mm howitzer. It was used for indirect fire and was effective against enemy infantry and fortifications. The Stummel had the same crew of 5 and the same speed as the Puma, though its range was significantly shorter at only 400 km or 250 miles. Its armour would stay the same. Finally, the last version was the SDKFZ 234-4, also known as the Pakwagen. This version was specifically designed for anti-tank warfare. It was armed with a 75mm gun, the same as a Pak-40, and allowed it to destroy virtually every Allied machine on the battlefield. Its crew, speed and armour were all the same as the Stummel. During the Second World War, these heavy armoured cars played a crucial role in reconnaissance, anti-tank warfare and infantry support. These vehicles were known for their armour, powerful weapons, and high mobility. They were manned by skilled crews who operated them in various combat scenarios, from the deserts of North Africa to the urban environments of the Eastern Front. While these cars were successful in their intended roles, they also faced challenges and limitations. Their armour thickness provided only moderate protection against enemy fire, and they were vulnerable to anti-tank weapons and artillery. Additionally, as the war progressed, newer and more advanced tanks and vehicles were developed by the Allies, which posed a threat to the success of these cars. Despite these limitations, the cars were instrumental in providing valuable intelligence, disrupting enemy movements, and supporting ground operations during the war. Their mobility, firepower, and versatility made them formidable assets on the battlefield. Overall, these heavy armoured cars were important vehicles that served a vital role for Germany during World War II, and remain an important part of military history. Which version of Germany's heavy armoured cars do you think was the best? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to expand your knowledge and join the growing Premier History community.